Hey guys, Laura from laurafrancis.com.au. I am Laura Francis. I'm a mindset and online empire creation mentor. And I wanted to do this live stream with you today. I'll just wait and see if a few people, see how many people pop on, then I'll get stuck into it. But I wanted to do this live stream today focused on messaging and how to easily always be able to come up with great topics to talk about so that you can inspire and educate your clients, right? So when it comes to messaging, hey guys, thanks for joining. Say hi so I know who I'm chatting with. That'd be lovely. One of the things that I find, thank you for joining on Instagram and on Facebook. So one of the things that I find my clients, my high-end clients, generally struggle the most with around their messaging is initially knowing exactly how to come up with topics to discuss. So we don't always know, I'll just make sure the are up here. We don't always know. That might be better. Just let me know if you guys can hear me, please. That'd be wonderful. Thanks for joining Nick and Pilates and yoga and the Do It All girl. So one of the things that people really struggle with is knowing, hey Nathan, thanks for joining, is knowing topics, like being able to on demand comes up with topics to discuss when you're writing your posts for messaging or when you're doing a live stream. Hey Simon, good to see you. So one of the things I often get people to do is, it's basically people think it's rocket science to know what you're going to be talking about and to be able to come up with these topic points, but it's actually not. If you actually know your business and you are awesome at what you do and you are passionate about what you do and you're clear about who it is that you want to help or that you were born to help, if you're clear about what your actual purpose is, it's really quite simple to come up with the topics. And one of the things I actually get my clients to do is to break down what they do into segments and then break that down to the lowest common denominator. So I was chatting with one of my clients, Kathleen, this morning about this specifically. Hey there on Facebook, thanks for joining. So I was chatting with Kathleen this morning about this specifically, and she said, look, how do I know what to talk about? Well, it's really quite simple. So for Kathleen, for example, she's a holistic healer. So she works with shiatsu and tarot and a variety of different things. She works on energy and that type of thing. So always talking about, deals with astrology and that kind of thing. With other clients, for example, they're writers, others are, there's coaches, mentors, etc. I deal with a variety of different people. So how do you break down what it is you do into a lower common denominator? So, for example, with me, for example, so I talk about messaging and online empire creation, but primarily the things that I help my clients with are mindset, messaging, marketing, and sales, right? But I help you to tap into your truth, to own who you are, to all sorts of things. So I could try and jam all of that into one message if I like, but that's going to end up a really shitty and convoluted and confusing message, right? So thanks for joining, guys. Say hi. So it's not messaging, and sharing your message and your purpose isn't about throwing in the whole bucket. It's not about launching into absolutely everything that you're awesome at and trying to get that across in one post or one video. It's about breaking it down and discussing bit by bit over time with your audience and educating them in what it is that you do, how you go about it, your processes, your practices, the type of people that you work with, all of those sorts of things. So let's talk about Kathleen again, for example. And so Kathleen is a holistic healer. And like I said, she works with shiatsu, energy, astrology, and tarot. So they, for example, are 4 topic points. But yet if we break that down, so if we, for example, talk about her tarot readings and we break that down into a lower denominator, go for a lower, like a smaller element of tarot. So we break tarot down into, say, 10, 20, 30 different topic points. That's actually a lot easier than some people might think. And so with Kathleen this morning, I mentioned to her, why don't you, like when you go to do a tarot reading, what's your process? So think about your process that you go through with your clients. So for her to get into zone for tarot, it doesn't take a lot of time. But for the beginner or for those that are wanting to learn about it and tap into that psychic side of things and into their intuition, they don't know how to do that yet, right? So your job as a messenger, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, is to educate your audience in what it is that you do, how you do it, and tell them how they can do it too, right? Don't be afraid to give your badassery away to those people who are really interested in it. The more value you give, the faster you build a know, like, and trust relationship with people, and the more likely you are to be able to convert those, your audience into leads that then become clients down the track. So the more you give, the more you get. So with Kathleen, we mentioned that, she could actually break down her process into several different messages, because when her process is quite varied. So when she actually sits down with a client, she to do a tarot, she has to go into a certain zone and she starts seeing auras and energies and picks up on their vibration. So if she actually was to discuss how she gets the aura, how she gets the energy, how she picks up on the vibration, what her internal processes are to be able to do that, that actually then becomes a whole topic point for messaging, right? So it's not like she's like ramming, I just get in there and I just do this and I just do that, and people are going, holy shit, how can I even get where you're going, because like you've given me no depth. So your job as a messenger is to go into depth, to go into detail, to get super specific about how you do what you do, why you do what you do, what it is that took you to the place where you actually get into the zone of doing what you do. So that's what you do as a messenger, is you actually break that down into the finer points. The Jen group, thanks for joining. Whoever's on Facebook, say hi. I'm not really getting it from Facebook who's joining at the moment, so that's how it rolls. So your job is to break it down and to make it really easy for people to understand what you do and how you do it, so that you can build that know, like, and trust relationship with them, right? So admittedly for you as the expert, as the professional, the leader, you already know how to do it. So it's automatic. You automatically go into it, you flow. Hey, Melbourne Phil, thanks for joining. You go into flow straight away, and you don't need to stop and think about the actual processes that you use to get to the point of getting on a call or doing a tarot reading or whatever it is that you do. So, and so for Kathleen, being a holistic healer, if she can actually stop and think about the processes, about what actually goes on internally for her as she is about to work with a client, for example, to do a tarot reading, to do some energy work, to go around talk about the astrology side of things, to help them with their astrology, to do shiatsu healing and that kind of thing. If she actually breaks down that process into the lower denominator points that she actually works through to get them to a place where they're actually working with her, healing with her, where she can actually feel their energy and their vibration, they are all topic points. And even energy, vibration, astrology, and that kind of thing can all be broken down further into smaller points. So your job as the messenger is to actually understand succinctly what those points are. So a challenge I gave to Kathleen, for example, is to create, say, 5 to 6 header points. So let's say for me, mindset, messaging, marketing, sales. And so then we can go into, there's 4. But, I can break that down much further. I can talk about funnels. I can talk about programs, all of that kind of thing. But the four main headers for me, even though messaging is marketing, the four main headers that I go with are mindset, messaging, marketing, sales. But I also throw spirituality into that. So I work with spirituality, mindset, messaging, marketing, sales. There's 5 things. So you can break spirituality down easily into 30 different subgroups, if you will. And so those subgroups are the lowest common denominators, okay? And even those subgroups can be broken down into extra subgroups. So if we talk about mindset, we can talk about things like blockages, resistance, limiting beliefs, stories, excuses, mindset. Flying on the seat of my pants here. Mindset. So we can talk about social constructs. We can talk about conformity. We can talk about a variety of different things. And all of those can be broken down finer. So, for example, yesterday I wrote a message on, or messages I was sharing were around upper limits. I was talking about procrastination. They are all mindset things, right? And so when you break things down, a Drumhouse, thanks for joining. When you break things down into the minor topics, into the subgroups, subcategories, you actually get a whole new topic point. And then you talk on that topic point. And that makes it a whole lot easier. So, if I was to talk about messaging, I can talk about messaging directly, like how to create a message. I can talk about client attraction. I can talk about things like purpose. And, there's a lot of different things that I can talk about in there. If I go into the topic of marketing, I can talk about social media marketing. I can actually break social media marketing down into hundreds of subtopics and subcategories. So social media marketing, we've got Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat. I mean, they're just some of the things. And then you actually break each of those down into smaller subcategories, into more subcategories again. And so then you can talk about, like Facebook, you can talk about algorithm, posting, you can talk about advertising. I mean, there's so many different things that you can break down your overall business into. So if you take half a dozen main categories, main topics, and you then break each of those main topics down into, say, 10 or 20 subtopics, and then you break those subtopics down into 10 or 20 subcategories, you've got months upon months worth of topics that you can actually discuss and use on a daily basis, multiple times a day, to message to your clients, be that via typing your message and posting that, or by doing live streams. So it's actually exponential, the depths to which you can go when it comes to messaging. To messaging and knowing how to create topics like that. So I actually suggest that people create a spreadsheet. With a simple spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be difficult. A simple spreadsheet that has your 6 main categories, then your 20 or your 6 main topics, then your 20 or 30 subtopics. Are an offshoot of that, and then you have 20 or 30 subcategories that are offshoots of those subtopics. Okay, so you then all you need to do each day is look at that, or each time you are ready to put out a message, is to, when you're crafting your messages or you're about to do a live stream, is you look at that and you think, oh, I'm going to talk about that today, and it will actually be triggered half the time by something you'll see on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or whatever, and it's easy to actually really come up with content to discuss. So if anyone's got any questions on that, please do pop your questions in the link, in the comments, so that I can help you out with that. If you've got questions that are specifically related to your business, your niche, your industry, how you go about your messaging yourself, please do pop them in. I really do hope that you guys are getting this okay, because Facebook's not really cooperating at my end, so I can't really determine how successfully things are working. If you've got any questions, please pop them below. If you would like to speak with me directly about how I can help you or how you can actually break down the topics and subtopics and categories for your business, please just pop a hell yes in the comments and we'll get back to you and we'll arrange a time so that we can have a conversation. Or I'll get back to you and I'll arrange a time so that we can have a conversation. I hope that actually gives you guys some clarification around the messaging and how you can easily come up with topics to discuss on your live streams or in your text-based messaging. I will be coming back into the group over the next few days. I'm aiming to do live streams in here at least every day, and same with you, Instagram. I'll be doing live streams every day, and so I'll be talking about a variety of things, all spirituality, messaging, mindset, marketing, and sales. So if nobody's got any questions for me directly on this live, I'm going to head on out. But those of you watching the replay, if you happen to have questions about how to come up with content and topics to discuss in your messaging, just pop me a message with a hell yes and I'll get back to you and let you know. We'll then discuss how you can actually easily come up with topics to discuss and how to create content around that for your messaging. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. It's been great hanging out with you here. And if you want to chat with me personally, like I said, just pop a hell yes in the comments and I shall get back to you as soon as possible. So this has been Laura Francis. Love, truth and badassery. Remember, you have one life. Hit the fucking button.